All right. So we just had review scheduled the yesterday and today, but it looks like it got erased somehow.
It wasn't me.
Oh, it
It was
was.
gone yesterday.
Okay, it wasn't from you rubbing your hair
I swear it wasn't.
against there. Okay.
What? Down it.
All right.
No.
So with that, everything that the majority of what you need to know is in the drop folder. We've spent time on that. Okay. So don't wait until Monday night to look at this because that is not going to help you. And don't wait till Tuesday night. That is not going to help you. Okay? Because one of the things that happens is students sometimes find that out the hard way, which is rather unfortunate, but it just happens that way. So we want to take a look at some muscles. Okay? So in order to do that, we'll go ahead and look at, let's see here, I think I've got it. Wait a minute.
I can opt out, right?
Okay, yes, you still take set that if you don't feel comfortable, right, opt out on there. And we did that last year. And what I appreciate about that is I think a lot of you that opt out, yes, you still took the final, you still did your best, and some of you still scored quite well. And this was in the spring. Okay? The reason that I think that's because you're doing what at times, maybe it's uh, is that the linchpin for you or what?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We should have time to get that done, hopefully today then. Okay. So with some of the list of muscles that you need to know, if you were to look at something like this, how many of you would say, oh my gosh?
I know
That-
some of them.
Okay. So if some of you or anyone could perhaps pull up your list that's in the drop folder.
I got a list right here.
Okay.
So, you want me to start naming some?
Well, you say a name then.
The frontals.
Okay.
I know where they are.
All right. So not only would we look at this saying it's the frontalis, I think hopefully this isn't quite as bright as having the white background. I think we can see parts of this. Okay. The reason we want to go over this, the frontalis, is that anything to do with this part of the cranium?
Yes. No.
Yes, it does. Because this is what bone of the cranium?
Your head.
It's your frontal bone. Okay? So since that is the frontal bone, this is your frontalis right here. And what it does is it raises your eyebrows. Okay? Next one.
The masseter.
Okay? The masseter muscle is what we'd see right here. It's actually quite large. Okay? And whether it's derived from Latin, I don't know whether you'd say having mass in the name has anything to do with it, which it perhaps does, because with different mammals, you can measure what we call jaw bites or jaw force from their bite. And the reason that's significant is because this is called the zygomatic process right here, and it lines up very similar to right there. Maybe we need to enlarge that a little bit if that will help. Okay. So right here on the zygomatic arch is where that masseter muscle is, right here. And what it does is it closes the jaw, okay? So when you're looking at other types of large mammals, like the bigger cats and some of the members of the bear family, or okay, that are bears, these jaw bones flare out a little more. And the reason that it does that is that increases the surface area for this muscle to attach. So if you have a wider angle here, you have a much larger bite force. And that's why certain mammals look the way they do if they have a large bite force. Okay, next one.
Would pit bulls have like a stronger bite force just because they're flared out?
I would venture to think so, yes.
The sternocleidomastoid.
Sternocleidomastoid,
Yep, that one.
okay? That, it does, okay? This is the sternocleidomastoid right here, okay? Because if you remember from your vocabulary, origins and insertions, what's the difference?
Origin doesn't move.
The origin does not move, insertion does, okay? So here is an origin, and here's an origin right here. So when you're looking at this, okay, what we see here is the clavicle right here. I don't think I'm covering, maybe I'm covering that up just a little bit. Clavicle, here's the sternum, okay? So those are the origins of this muscle. And then way up here behind the ear, you have what's called the mastoid process, and this is of the temporal bone. So when you put those three together, the sternum, the clavicle, and the mastoid process, that's why this muscle gets the name that it does. So what we see happening is, remember, insertions get pulled towards its origin. This specimen, or wherever you want to refer this, maybe what's better than a specimen? Model or cadaver, whichever. Which way is he facing, him or her?
To the left, technically to his right.
Okay, you can see the left side, they're looking to the right. So then this is the left sternocleidomastoid, so that means even though it's the left side, they're looking to the right. Same thing if you're looking at the right sternocleidomastoid, then they are looking left. So again, that's why it gets this name, sternum, clavicle, and mastoid process. Next.
Should we, like, if we're writing those, is that like how the test is going to be like that?
Yeah, we'll just have something pointing to
Can
it.
we, like, write it as something else? Or, because that's going to be.
What I don't mean trying to spell that out, or
Yeah.
you just have to
Oh, the
be
neck
close.
Get close enough?
In other words, if you put NAVICULUR for navicular as opposed to sternocleidomastoid, that's wrong. Okay, we should be able to come close enough is what I'm trying to say. Okay, next.
The temporalis.
Okay, the temporalis muscle. Okay, what bone do you think this might be? We said it once already.
It's right here.
Okay, because this is the mastoid process of the temporal bone, and if this is the temporal, which it is, then the muscle right above it is the temporalis, which is right here. You can feel that when you clench your jaw, okay? There are different ways that you break up muscles in the human body. Some are called prime movers, some are called synergists, okay? So in other words, one thing we could say is, I'm trying to think of a,
What does the temporalis do?
it aids in closing the jaw. You do that, you can feel that muscle flex. Okay? So a synergist would be something like, got a black shirt on. So black must be describing the shirt. So I believe you make that a synonym. So a synergist is something that modifies or helps what's called a prime mover. And in this case, all the majority of the movement comes from the masseter, but the synergist then here is called the temporalis. Okay, next.
The pectoralis major.
Pectoralis major is right here. Okay? Pecs, sure. Next.
Biceps brachial.
Okay? Where do you think those are?
Right here.
Okay, here's your biceps brachii. And again, the reason that it gets its name is because if you look really close, it looks like there's two divisions of this, which there is. It's got two insertions down here, and it has to insert on the forearm. Because if you had an insertion on the humeral bone itself, it wouldn't be able to flex anything. So here's its two insertions. The origin is further up the line, but you can't see them because there's muscular tissue. The biceps brachii, or just biceps is fine. Next. Yes. Yes.
Triceps brachii.
Okay, where would you think you find that?
It's right here.
It's on the back side, so we got to move this over. And here is your triceps, right there. Okay, next.
The external oblique.
External oblique. Oblique, yeah, I believe, is Latin for maybe abdomen or something to that effect. So on the outside, what we see here is these sets of muscles right here. So on the outside, this is your external oblique. And for those of you who do take anatomy and physiology next year, one of the things that you do when you dissect the cat, you identify the 4 abdominal muscles, because you have ones that go this way, and then the internal oblique creates a crisscross action. Okay? External oblique, right here or here. Okay?
We have internal then too.
We have them as well, yes.
The rectus abdominis.
Is right here, because what gives that away is it's in the name. Abdominis means abdomen. So rectus means long muscle, I would believe. Long muscle in the abdomen. Okay?
The extensor carpi radialis.
Okay. I guess I forgot that that was actually on there. Are you sure that's part of your list?
I don't think it is.
It's not on Dylan's.
Yeah, it's not on my
It's
slide.
on, that's on the thing.
Let's see here.
Okay. Now, and it maybe is, but is it part of the, is it mixed in with A and P, anatomy and physiology? That's what I'm asking.
It's the PDF.
Well, yeah, that's a diagram of the muscular portion of the body. What your classmate is looking at is the actual list.
Where's that at?
Okay? So, in this case, you're going to want bones and, no. Look for like bio additions.
AP and bio.
JPEG right here.
This one or that one of them two.
The one is-
One of those two, yep. Okay, so those
There
are
we
your
are.
muscles right there. Okay. Anything else? Is this worth your time? Okay.
The next is veins in the external iliac.
Oh, we're done with muscles? Oh, okay. So then what we can do,
Cookie.
okay,
This picture creeps me out.
blood vessels right here. Okay. So then, what did you say? External oblique, or no, not external oblique. Iliac. External iliac. Now that can be, sometimes need to be a little more specific because it can be an artery and a vein. Okay. So what happens is, as blood is returning to the body, why would this be called the femoral vein right here?
It's on your femur.
Because your femur is in that area. Okay. You have an external iliac, an internal iliac, and then you have a common iliac. Okay? So
Do
then,
we have to know the internal iliac?
yes. I believe it's on that list. Okay? All right. And then, so this is bringing blood back to the heart. So anything below the heart, this large vein, does anyone want to take a guess of what it might be? No,
Internal iliac.
no.
Wait, no.
Deep.
It's in here somewhere. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Spinous vein.
It is not in here somewhere.
Okay. Anything below the heart is called the inferior vena cava, right? It goes all the way down here. Okay. Is that not on that list?
Yeah,
Okay.
There's a common iliac. It's on there.
It's on. Okay.
Yeah, it's on there.
And then anything above the heart would be the superior vena cava. Okay.
I don't know if that one's on.
Well, that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to write superior vena cava. Now, if we know what the inferior vena cava is, the superior one is hopefully fairly easy to know. It's just above the heart, the biggest vein above the heart. Anything else?
Is the heart just like a really big artery?
The heart?
It's made up
It's a big muscle.
The heart is the heart.
Okay? Is there anything else?
The common iliac? Or did you already say that?
Now, vein or artery?
Do you do bonus questions for Smiths for test exams?
I do. I did last year. I did the year before that. Is there any reason to stop doing them?
No.
Oh, okay. Just asking. Okay, that's
So you're
fine.
not asking for bonus questions right
Tom, be quiet. You can continue.
Continue. Yes.
Okay. So again, you have to be specific. Are you talking about the external iliac vein,
The
internal
common
iliac vein, or are you talking about the artery? Because you have the same ones.
Isn't it the same
External
thing?
iliac, internal iliac, and then the common iliac
Isn't
right
it
here.
the same thing?
No, just in name only. Because this is taking blood away from the heart. So it's going down to your legs. These, on the other hand, are bringing blood back to the heart from your legs.
Veins and arteries. Wait, which one's which? Arteries bring them.
Arteries carry blood away from the heart, and then veins bring them back. That's the best way to look at it, because you don't want to associate saying that, oh, all of these must be veins. And that would be incorrect, because there is a blue artery and there is a red vein. It's because of how much oxygen's in there. There's a blue artery, there's no oxygen. Yes,
now? What is the thing? Your blood is blue and it's...
that's,
Yeah, I know,
no.
but what does that come from?
Hush up, boy.
People looking inside your skin and seeing a blue vein. So, oh, the blood must be blue in there. That's not the case.
That's crazy. That's crazy that all your blood is blue until it touches oxygen.
It changes a different shade of red when it's oxygenated. It's probably really, really dark red when it's going through here, but once you put more oxygen in it, it becomes a lighter color red. That's my belief. Okay?
How long does like the blood that's in your body stay in your body, or like how soon does it get cycled out?
It doesn't. What happens
Wait,
is you,
does that work for women? Because when they're period, you know?
okay, that's a whole different set of
Does your
explanations.
body make blood?
Yes, that's, don't you remember, as a vocab term, red and
Like,
white
does it
blood cells?
constantly make blood 24/7?
Yes.
So what
Red and
happens
white
when
blood
you get too
cells.
much blood?
What happens when you get what?
Too much blood in your body.
Well, that's what your spleen and liver are for, because your spleen will filter that out, because your blood cells eventually, they just go through a process where they just shrivel up and die. And when that happens, if you don't remove that, that's a type of blood poisoning. So that's why your spleen will filter that out of the blood as part of the lymphatic system. What about your spleen? You may have to
Wait,
if it
your
becomes
spleen and
damaged.
What does that?
Your liver will
So
also
what happens
filter.
if you lose your spleen and your liver?
Well, I suppose you would just have to do something similar to dialysis, I suppose.
What's that?
Dialysis means your kidneys aren't functioning, and it's a way to filter toxins out of the blood. Okay. We still have Monday yet. Anything else that you'd like to go over? Because one of the things I don't know is the heart diagram on there. It should be if it's not, but what I'd like to think, take advantage of simple points here. Because what are the chambers of the heart? What's on top?
The valve.
Nope.
The
Upper right.
tracheus.
The left ventricle.
You have two atria, a left and a right, and two ventricles, a left and a right. Okay? So what we mean by that is the atria are on top. You're looking at a mirror image, right atria, left atria. Okay? Right ventricle, left ventricle. Okay? So then, remember we said that there is a blue artery, which is located right here. This is called your pulmonary artery, even though it's blue. Okay? That's why you can't go through the presumption that all arteries are red and all veins are blue. You can say all arteries carry blood away, and that's what this does, even though it's blue. So then there's a red vein right here. This is the pulmonary vein because it's bringing blood back to the heart. Okay? So we have pulmonary arteries and pulmonary veins. Pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein. Okay? Pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins. Okay? Then this would be the left pulmonary artery. This would be the right one. Okay? What's the largest artery in the body? This one right here.
It's
Radial artery.
hold on.
Starts with an A, not artery
It's the
though.
arc.
It's an arch.
It's something. Hold on. Aortic arch.
Yeah, aortic arch. Okay? And that's what we're talking about right there. Then brachiocephalic. Okay? Well then, in that case, that is this vessel right here. Brachiocephalic. Okay? Then some other ones that we would have seen. Let's see here. Brachiocephalic. Okay, I think that's enough for the heart. The brachiocephalic, then what we wrote down over here, okay? Pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, and then these structures here, the atria and the ventricles. Any questions over that? Front row. We still have Monday. Some of you are gone for track. I know. If you are gone, you still have one last opportunity to tune into this channel. Second row. Third row. So remember, everyone takes the final, but some of you have that opportunity to say it's not going to count. But it still will go in your grade book. It'll just say exempt on there. Okay? Remember, there's a distinction there. And a lot of you, again, that were exempted last year, we appreciate that effort that you put into it. It was worth 150 points. Some of you said, I'm not going to count this, and still got 120 out of 150. That's saying a lot for your character. Okay? So keep doing that. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll leave the rest of the time for you to look at this if you so choose. So we didn't even get through all of these structures here. We did the frontalis, the buccinator, the zygomaticus. We didn't even do these. Okay? But we did go through some of them. Okay? And that must be, that was Oh, that's over here.
Come here, boy.
Okay, that must be some of, yeah, these muscles right here. Okay, that's all I have. We'll catch up to you next time.